Today's author is Margaret S. Hamilton. Margaret is a prolific short story writer who is stretching her word count into full-length mysteries. Today's story, Audubon's Ghost, features amateur detective Lizzie Christopher. Lizzie's first case, What the Artist Left Behind, is out on submission. Welcome to Mysteries to Die For. I am TG Wolff, and I'm here with Jack, my piano player and producer. This is a podcast where we combine storytelling with original music to put you at the heart of a mystery. All of our stories are structured to challenge you to beat the detective to the solution. Jack and I perform these live, front to back, no breaks, no fakes, no retakes. Our social media is alive and kicking. Check us out on Instagram at Mysteries to Die For, that's all spelled out, and on Facebook at M2D4 podcast, M2D4 podcast, for a pulse of what's going on with the show and some of Jack's fun additions. And then explore our website, m2d4podcast.com, for episodes from all of our seasons and information and links to our authors. The rules for law and order create the boundaries for civil coexistence, and ideally, the backdrops for individuals, families, and companies to grow and thrive. Breaking these rules puts civil order at risk, and while murder is the big daddy of crimes, codified ordinances across municipal divisions, counties, states, and countries show the nearly endless ways there are to create mayhem. This season, we put our detective skills to the test. This is Season 8, Anything But Murder. And welcome to Episode 20, where menacing is the featured crime. This is Audubon's Ghost by Margaret S. Hamilton.
Good morning.
Morning.
Or evening. Or possibly good midnight.
So what are we using for a bass line today?
What aren't we using? A guitar?
I don't know.
Dead cats? We are using...
No.
What? I said we're not using dead cats.
Oh, I guess you did. Jeez.
You're sad we aren't? You'd rather I use dead cats?
I'd rather you not think of dead cats at all.
Clearly... That's not working. So, rock organ number 1.
I don't know where that gets anything like rock, but I don't know. I think whoever names those things is the same person who names the colors in a Crayola box.
All right. You think there's like expert namers out there? Like this is Billy
job?
Bob Name.
Like, how do you get that?
Part of the name family. Yeah.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
A crime-free honeymoon. The car emerged from the dark, overgrown woods into the brilliant Louisiana sunshine. A butter yellow plantation home stood at the top of the hill, surrounded by orange daylilies. It's perfect for us, our own honeymoon hideaway. Lizzie pulled on her glasses. Nick parked in the gravel parking area. 5 Oaks is exactly as the owners described it. A brown dog trotted toward them. The chocolate lab is friendly. Her name is Dolly. Lizzie hung over the garden gate, nose to nose with the dog, cooing as she rubbed Dolly's head. Nick joined her. We'll stay in the guest room addition. He pointed to a long gallery extending from the original house, punctuated by green shutters on tall windows. It's not the grand antebellum mansion I expected, Lizzie said. More like a 19th century working plantation. I can't wait to explore. She opened the gate, shooing the dog back. Come on, let's find the owners and get settled. Carol and Ed are working somewhere on the property, Nick said. We'll see them tonight. Because we're the only guests, Carol picked up our dinner from a local restaurant for a quiet meal on the porch. A man in his 20s with long curly hair wearing a t-shirt and jeans lurked on the gallery. trying, without success, to open each door and window. He waved and approached them. "Good day, mates. Got a key for the house? I'm here for a tour but can't find the owners." Lizzie clutched Nick's arm and whispered, "Nobody's here. How do we get in?" Nick murmured, "Carol texted me a lockbox code. The box has keys for the main house and the master key for the guest rooms." "I don't like the looks of this guy," Lizzie said. "Don't say anything." Nick took her hand and approached the man. "Good day to you, too. You're a long way from Australia." "That's right."
What? Are you telling me you can't do an Australian accent?
I haven't practiced one.
I heard you say mates, and I was like, well, that's not how that's pronounced. I've never heard someone go, "Why, hello there, mate. How you doing?"
We've talked about this. That.
Oh, come on.
What did you say yesterday? Or it wasn't yesterday. It was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I don't remember, to be honest with you. Granted, thank you for not doing a Cajun accent. That would have been bad.
It's all bad. I just do Midwest.
What do you mean? All you have to do is say, you have to have a key phrase to get you into it.
Okay.
I don't. I
You have
used to
one?
talk in an Australian accent all the time, and it used to be the Australian outback. That's what it was, but I haven't done it in long enough.
So you all are just going to have to put your imagination ears on.
Yeah. Oh my God! But you wrote, or not you, but
I did not.
Margaret wrote it for it to be met with that accent.
I know.
Don't want
I
to
know.
hear mates. What are we gonna do?
I don't know.
This is a predicament.
This is a predicament.
We could switch
To what?
to you playing and I'll read it.
That's just going to be disastrous.
No.
I can't play a bass line for an hour.
All right. I'll use my imagination. Actually, no. Every single time you say a line of his, I'll come back over and say it again.
That works.
That's a lie. That sounds like a lot of work. All right. I'm going to shut up now.
Nick took her hand and approached the man. "Good day to you, too. You're a long way from Australia. I'll try." "That's right," the stranger said. "I'm on a tight schedule. Got a key then." Do you want to try that line?
What was it? That's right. Got a key then?
"That's right. I'm on a tight schedule. Got a key then."
That's right. I want it. No, that's not good. That's right. I'm on a tight schedule. Got a key then?
I don't think that was Australian.
What?
It was a mix of Australian and
Midwest.
I don't know what.
It's good. My wife says it's good.
"No," Nick said. "We stopped by hoping for a tour, but the place looks deserted. We'll take a walk around the outbuildings instead." Lizzie glanced back at the parking area, the rental car the only vehicle in sight. The Australian must have walked through the woods, through 5 Oaks at least, a mile from the closest road. They said a brief goodbye. Dolly trotted beside them as they made their way to the front of the house, sheltered under 5 spreading live oaks. Lizzie strolled the length of the front gallery, able to relax with the stranger out of sight. She peered in the windows, the plantation office and guest rooms at one end, the parlor and dining rooms at the other. "What do you think of the place?" Nick asked. "Fascinating." Lizzie positioned her cell phone to take photos. "It's easy to imagine living here. The 19th century furniture is lovely, and I can't wait to see the French clocks. They're my favorite." She fanned herself. "I could use some shade. Would you check under the live oaks? I'm a little nervous about the wildlife." Nick squeezed her hand. "Sure, though if snakes were a problem, Carol would have alerted me." Lizzie, delighted in standing under the centuries-old trees, their branches touching the ground, roots bulging from the soil. "It must be 10 degrees cooler here." She eyed the Spanish moss. "Very atmospheric, but I read it's loaded with chiggers." They circled the house and found an old schoolhouse, kitchen, and other dependency buildings. Lizzie perused the flower beds filled with daisy, pink phlox, and blue lilies of the Nile, continuing to take photos, and then asked, "Is he gone yet?" "Wait near the kitchen," Nick said. "I'll check again before we open the lockbox." Lizzie sat in a wicker rocking chair and kicked off her sandals. As she eased the chair into motion, Dolly sprawled next to her. Not a busman's honeymoon after all. The plantation owners were returned by evening, and their room keys were available. Had the Australian noticed the lockbox attached to the porch railing, he might have returned to pry it open. Lizzie and Nick had timed their wedding and honeymoon around their professional schedules, planning to spend several days in St. Francisville before heading to New Orleans. After a hectic year with Lizzie assisting in police investigations in their small Ohio town, she had promised her husband a crime-free week. Nick reappeared. No sign of him. Let's select our room. He removed 2 keys from the lockbox and helped Lizzie to her feet. Together, they investigated the guest quarters. Each room had screen doors for ventilation, with air conditioners mounted on the rear walls. Lizzie scrutinized the antique beds, each one higher than the last, complete with step stools. Let's go with the room at the end, with more privacy. The bed's a little shorter, so I won't have to do a high jump when I climb aboard. While Nick paced outside, listening to his phone messages, Lizzie explored their room, shifting several small tables out of the way. Antiques were charming, but not if she couldn't walk through the room without tripping over them. She hung her dresses and skirts in the wardrobe and then knelt, tugging the big drawer underneath, searching for extra bed pillows. Lizzie patiently worked the drawer open and then tumbled backwards as it fell out of the wardrobe and landed on the floor with a thud. What was that? Nick clicked off his phone and joined her. A bulky drawer. She struggled to insert it back in the wardrobe. Here, let me help you. Nick positioned the drawer in the opening and pushed it, then pulled it back out. Something's blocking it. Let me take a look, Lizzie said. I have long, skinny arms. Can you put your phone on flashlight? Lizzie peeked inside the wardrobe, hoping the obstruction wasn't a mouse nest. She spotted a flat package wrapped in brown paper taped to the top of the drawer opening. Easing it free, she pulled it out and wiped a thin layer of dust off the stiff, flat package. Anybody outside? Nick checked before he gave her the all clear. Lizzie carried the package into the bright sunshine. She placed it on a gallery table, unwrapped the paper, and pulled out 2 pieces of heavy cardboard taped together. After slitting the tape with a fingernail, she eased open the cardboard and found a painting on heavy paper, protected under sheets of acid-free tissue paper. A watercolor of hummingbirds in the style of Audubon. Lizzie examined the paintings in the sunlight. 3 male hummingbirds with blue throats, flying and drinking nectar from flowers of bright blue hummingbird sage. 2 females perched on an adjacent branch. The edges of the paper were flecked with brown spots. She creased her brow, trying to remember the correct term. Foxing, that was it. She handed Nick the painting. Blue-throated hummingbirds. That's interesting, Nick said. Carol told me to watch for them on the grounds. It's a watercolor, not a print. I wonder how old it is. I can't wait to show the owners. Lizzie gently placed the paintings in the empty wardrobe drawer under a protective cover of tissue paper before they headed to the main house to find their dinner. In the kitchen, they heated up a container of jambalaya, collected a chilled bottle of Chardonnay, and carried their plates to the gallery table. The swallows flitted and soared in the evening sky, the raucous purple martin colony in full voice, and the parent bird swooped low over the pool, feeding on mosquitoes. Lizzie leaned back in her chair and sipped her wine. What shall we do tomorrow? Nick kissed her hand. Lizzie smiled. Everything's laid out in the kitchen for our breakfast. Afterwards, let's explore the local plantations. They're close by and it's not terribly hot, and the area isn't swarming with tourists. We have the luxury of taking our time. They finished the bottle of wine while the moon rose in the starlit sky, the plantation grounds and nearby woods silent. Dolly sniffed the area before bedding down next to the kitchen door of the main house, probably waiting for her owners to return.
But they never did.
This is anything but murder.
Oh, but they did return. But they were kidnapped. But they were menaced.
They were menaced.
They were menaced.
A not so uneventful night. The air conditioning clicked on and off during the night. Lizzie awoke to soft footsteps along the gallery, followed by a guest room door opening. She fell into a doze, then woke with a start. Someone was moving the furniture in the room next to theirs, banging wardrobe doors, wrestling with swollen drawers, and stomping on floorboards. Lizzie held her breath and waited. The door of the room next to theirs closed, and she heard the rattle of keys on a ring. Sliding down the side of the high bed, she grabbed her eyeglasses and tiptoed to the door of their room. The intruder inserted a key in the lock and pushed against the door. Lizzie had flipped the privacy lock before going to bed. No one could get in unless they broke the window. Footsteps receded down the gallery, followed by the soft crunch of gravel as someone walked around the end of the building to their bathroom window. The window sash rattled as the intruder tried to lift it from the outside. Lizzie shook Nick awake. He flicked on a lamp and climbed out of bed. Lizzie checked the moonlit garden, light as day next to the dark woods. Barking her head off, Dolly raced across the lawn toward the gallery. The lab circled behind the guest room wing and growled. A man's deep voice yelled, "Maudit! Shapass! Go away! Damn! Maudit!" Molly...
Not even the French.
Come on.
Not even the French are safe. Maudit. Come on, you gotta say it with a little bit of sound like you've never not smoked. There's never been a day in your life where you weren't smoking. Even when you were in your mother's room, your mother was like, "Oh, yes, oui.
Maudit, je passe."
Yes. Very good. You went to France. You have no excuse. You saw
Nobody cursed at me when I was in France, or you for that matter.
That's true.
Dolly yelped and ran back to the gallery in front of their door, where she continued to growl. Lizzie stood on the chair next to the window at the end wall. She eased the lace curtains aside. A figure stood, pulling long curly hair out of his face. He wore some sort of costume, complete with knee-high boots and a long coat. A metal tube held on a strap across his back. It wasn't Halloween. She blinked and looked again. A ghost? Every Louisiana plantation seemed to have at least one resident ghost. Another man, possibly the one Dolly had found under their bathroom window, appeared. Shorter, stockier, wearing a work shirt and jeans. He had sworn at Dolly in French. Could he be Cajun? He went to the fence gate and disappeared into the woods. Dolly leapt off the gallery and lunged for the ghost, chasing him out of the garden too. He also disappeared into the woods. Lizzie jumped off the chair and peeked through the blind slats on one of the gallery windows. The guy yelling in French is gone, and Dolly chased the other one into the woods. Think it might be a ghost? I'll keep watching until Dolly returns. Nick wrapped her in a hug. I don't remember reading anything about a ghost. I called the owners again, and they're still not picking up. It's odd that we didn't meet them this evening. Should we call the police? Lizzie asked. The man is gone for now, Nick said. Let's wait till morning to report the intruders, real and ghostly. Lizzie continued to watch for Dolly. The chocolate lab finally returned to the gallery and curled up on the doormat next to the kitchen door. Lizzie and Nick tried, without success, to fall back asleep. At daybreak, they called the police and rummaged the plantation kitchen for muffins and bananas while their coffee brewed. After Police Officer Landry arrived, Lizzie gave him a mug of coffee and related the events that happened since the previous afternoon. Ed and Carol still aren't answering their phone, and Dolly's here, which I hope means they're somewhere on the property. Something's not right, Officer Landry said. They've been in the tourist business for 20 years. I've never known them to disappear when they've had guests. Well, they mentioned they were working on a small house nearby, Nick said. The garçonniere, Officer Landry said, where the young men would stay while visiting the plantation in the old days. Cut down on the hanky-panky with the young ladies. It's down the dirt road. Could we walk there with Dolly? Lizzie asked. Would you come with us? I'm getting more anxious by the minute. especially with what I suspect is a valuable painting sitting in a wardrobe drawer. I tried to do a southernish accent. Did you appreciate that?
I appreciated the thought. It wasn't bad. No, I realized by saying I appreciated the thought. Sounds like I sounded it was terrible, but it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad.
It wasn't terrible.
No. Granted, Southern's not that hard. Most people mock it. It's a nice, easy accent.
It's not mocking, but it's just you can relax.
Most people in our area, when you're doing a Southern accent, it's not out of love.
I do it out of love.
Oh. Normally we do it as a bless her heart.
There is a lot of that around here.
There's a lot of bless your hearts around here. Anyway.
So
I guess I'll shut up.
Okay. A lonesome road. After Nick took 2 bottles of water from the refrigerator, Lizzie grabbed an oven mitt and showed it to Dolly. Come on, let's find her. Where's Carol? Dolly barked and ran through the grounds to the dirt track through the woods. She stopped and whined as she looked over her shoulder at them. Lizzie turned to Officer Landry. Do you mind walking or do you want to drive? No way my patrol car can handle this road, Officer replied. It's not far. He paused before he added, I need to warn you folks about reports of Sam Broussard, a felon with a long criminal record, being in this area. Lizzie said, I wonder if that guy from last night was Broussard. Don't approach him. He's armed and dangerous, Officer Landry said. They continued down the rutted dirt track to a small white shotgun house nestled into a clearing, a gallery across the front. Tall windows framed the front door. Dolly barked and charged up the steps. Y'all stay back, you hear? Officer Landry. He followed Dolly. Lizzie and Nick waited at the edge of the woods. Officer Landry tested the locked front door before he walked around the house, peering through the windows. Dolly whined and clawed at the door. The officer put his heavy shoe to the front door and broke it down. Dolly raced inside with the officer following her. He returned to the gallery and motioned to them. They're here. I could use your help. Lizzie and Nick picked their way through the piles of sheetrock inside the house. A man and woman lay on the floor, their wrists and ankles bound with duct tape. Dolly whimpered and licked their faces. Officer Landry slit the tape and eased it off. Nick helped them up and offered them bottled water. Are you injured? Officer Landry asked. They shook their heads. The officer stepped outside to radio his report. The woman gulped the water. You must be Lizzie and Nick. I'm Carol. The man said, and I'm Ed. Thanks for rescuing us. His hair was sprinkled with sheetrock dust, his face splotched with dirt. Dolly brought us here, Lizzie said. I wish we'd searched for you last night. A guy barged in yesterday afternoon while we were working. He tied us up and forced us to swallow some pills, Ed said, which knocked us out until a little while ago. What did he look like? Lizzie asked. Questions can wait, Nick said. Let's take Carol and Ed home. Do you folks need a lift back to the big house? Officer Landry asked. Yes, Carol said, her face smudged with tears. Ed stroked her blonde curls. Why don't you bring my pickup from the barn? Ed asked. The keys are in the ignition. Officer Landry left the 2-room house, walking toward the barn. Lizzie and Nick helped Carol and Ed outside. Sunlight glinted on the metal at the edge of the wood. Nick, over there, Lizzie motioned with her head. A skinny stranger stood at the edge of the clearing, still wearing his costume, his face obscured by shadows. He raised his hands. I mean you no harm. As he approached, Dolly growled and charged him. Carol gasped. Is that a ghost? Quick, Ed, we've got to get out of here. Lizzie stood and yelled at the man. Stop right there. I've got some questions for you. The spectral man turned and ran through the woods, Dolly at his heels. The stranger was real, not a ghost, and he resembled the Australian they had met the previous day. Lizzie called Dolly, who came to her. Good girl, sit. Lizzie rubbed Dolly's head and ears. Officer Landry pulled up in Ed's truck. He helped Carol and Ed climb inside the truck and rumbled up the dirt track. Lizzie and Nick held hands and walked with Dolly back to Five Oaks. "I'll cook breakfast for Carolyn and Ed before we leave," Lizzie said, "and we need to show them the painting." "The other man, the one you call the Cajun, must still be determined to search our room," Nick said. "Should we find a new place to stay?" Lizzie hugged him. "No, I'd like to remain at Five Oaks. Dolly is better than any burglar alarm." Lizzie pulled a flyer off the refrigerator advertising a local one-man show about the life of John James Audubon. She showed the flyer to Nick. "This looks like the guy who keeps appearing and disappearing. He's dressed in an Audubon costume, and his name is Al McGuire." Nick inspected the flyer. "You're right. Let's warn Carolyn and Ed and notify Officer Landry." Lizzie made eggs and coffee and toast while Nick set the dining room table and poured orange juice. He brought the hummingbird painting from their room and propped it on the mantel. Carol and Ned joined them. "An Audubon watercolor," Carol said. "Did you find it in a local art gallery?" "No, taped inside the wardrobe in our room," Lizzie said. "You didn't know it was there?" Carol shook her head. "We moved the furniture from Oakley into your room last week." "Last night, a man with keys tried to break into our room," Lizzie said. "I put the night latch on our door so he couldn't get in." Ed furrowed his brows. "I'll have to get new locks installed today." "If the man is still on the loose, we need to move the painting to a secure location," Carol said. She looked at Lizzie. "Any chance you could deliver it to the curator, Tony Robichaud, at the Audubon Museum at Oakley Plantation? I'll phone ahead." Lizzie glanced at Nick, who nodded. "Of course," she said. "We'll take it this morning." "Did Audubon have an association with Five Oaks?" Nick asked. "We've always had blue-throated hummingbirds," Ed said. "They're attracted to the black and blue salvia, which we call hummingbird sage. We know Audubon spent several days here, sketching the hummers, before killing one to use as a model for his paintings."
He's a hummingbird killer?
Apparently.
Well, that's kind of screwed up. Look at the beauty of the bird. Now look at the beauty of the inside of the bird.
No, he didn't dissect it. He
I know.
used it as a model. Not that that makes it okay,
It
but just
make it much
to the
better.
point, there were no guts involved.
Still, it's funnier in my voice.
It is funnier in your voice.
Well, that's nice and gross of the guy.
A professional opinion. Lizzie and Nick waited until the locksmith arrived before driving to nearby Oakley. Tony Robichaud, the curator, and Park Ranger Taylor escorted them to a large table in the office area. "Carol called and told me you found a painting in the wardrobe from Oakley," the curator said. "Let's take a look." He pulled white cotton gloves over his hands and eased the painting out of its wrappings. After focusing a large light on the table, he picked up a magnifying glass. The curator examined several areas of the painting and held it up to the light, checking the watermark on the paper. Robichaud looked up. "It may very well be an original Audubon watercolor, though it's going to take additional research to date it. I know that Audubon made several trips to paint the birds in Bayou country." "These paintings are different from the 3 hummingbirds in the Birds of America elephant folio," Lizzie said. "Ruby throats, Annas, and one I've never heard of, Mango. I did a quick internet search during our drive over here." "Correct," Robichaud said. "Audubon would have painted this watercolor after he completed his original folio paintings." He turned the painting over and motioned to a small area in the lower corner. "I believe these pencil marks are adopted Chinese characters, kanji, used to write Japanese, which might indicate the real owner of the painting." He glanced at Lizzie. "Please describe the piece of furniture where it was hidden." Lizzie bit her lip. "I found it in an antique armoire, maybe cherry wood, taped inside the opening of the bottom drawer. Carol said the armoire was a recent acquisition from Oakley." "We'll have to check all the furniture in the plantation house," Robichaud said. "We may find more hidden artwork." "I'll alert the local law enforcement and store the painting here," Ranger Taylor said. We assume it was stolen. Let's hope the owner reported the theft and the painting is logged in the stolen art database. The man might try to steal the painting again, Lizzie said. Not on my watch, Ranger Taylor said. If we find the man on the plantation grounds, we detain him. Lizzie and Nook strolled to Oakley Plantation House through poplar and beechwoods dotted with magnolia and mature crepe myrtle trees. A short man with tan skin under a heavy bearded stubble stepped from behind a tree. Where are the paintings? I saw you carry them into the museum. Lizzie recognized the man's deep voice and Cajun accent. His plaid shirt hung over his jeans, possibly concealing a weapon. Could he be Sam Broussard? He assumed they had brought more than one painting to the museum. Nick put his arm around Lizzie. Let us by. No, I want those paintings. Lizzie turned and saw Ranger Taylor approaching. Any problem here, folks? The ranger asked. The tour's about to start. Yeah, the man took off, running through the woods. Do you think that was one of the men from Five Oaks? The ranger asked. Yes, Lizzie said. I recognized his voice from last night when he tried to break into our room. He asked about paintings, plural, so there must be more than one hidden in our room back at Five Oaks. Ranger Taylor radioed the details to his colleagues on the plantation grounds. I'll alert Carol and Ed at Five Oaks, Nick said, and send a quick text message before they entered the plantation house. Audubon's workroom was on the ground level of Oakley, a brick floor cool under Lizzie's feet. She sensed the painter's presence. Ranger Taylor showed them the wooden board with wire supports on which the artist mounted dead birds in lifelike positions, adding that Audubon's young assistant had painted the flowers and backgrounds to complete the paintings. Lizzie and Nick climbed the narrow stairs to the top floors. The furnishings were from the same era as the historic houses in their Ohio hometown, though the ceilings were higher and the windows larger. Lizzie admired the Adams mantels and examined the many Audubon sketches and paintings displayed throughout the house. Other than taped to the underside of the large dining room table or to the back of a framed picture, the wardrobe seemed to be the only logical hiding place for the paintings. Let's explore the outbuildings, Lizzie said. It's time for us to leave, Nick said. I'll alert Ranger Taylor and ask for an escort back to the car. But I want to do some bird watching, Lizzie said. We haven't had the full Oakley experience. Nick hugged her. We agreed to a crime-free week, remember? I want to enjoy our trip without looking over my shoulder for, quote, ghosts. He held her hand as they made their way down the outside staircase. Ranger Taylor met them in the formal garden. Folks, Tony Robichaud would like a word with you. He told me to escort you back to the offices. Something about the painting you brought in. The curator's word. They found a slender man, his dark hair threaded with gray, with Robichaud, examining the Japanese characters on the back of the hummingbird painting. Thank you for joining us, Robichaud said. Dr. Nakamura has an interesting story to tell us about this painting. Lizzie and Nick introduced themselves and sat at the table. This painting and another one are mine. Are you sure you only found one? Dr. Mora asked. They're gifts from a grateful parent in Huma, where my grandfather practiced medicine. They were left to me with a note stating that Audubon had stayed with the patient's family on a plantation in Bayou country while he painted birds in the area. Dr. Nakamura cleared his throat. The paintings were recently stolen from my home. I filed a police report and my insurance company alerted Louisiana art dealers in case the thieves tried to sell them. He smiled. Fortunately, Tony Robichaud was in the information loop and called me this morning to tell me that one of my paintings have been found. The kanji on the back confirmed my ownership. We have to find the other hummingbird painting, Lizzie said. She looked at the curator. Do you think it's here? At Oakley? Robichaud shook his head. After you gave me the watercolor you found at Five Oaks, we checked the interior of the house and outbuildings this morning. We didn't find any other painting. Lizzie stood up and twisted the cap closed on her water bottle. Then it must be at 5 Oaks. She turned to Dr. Nakamura. Would you like to follow us? Nick phoned the 5 Oaks owners with an update. Carol and Ned agreed to round up a crew to shift the wardrobe where Lizzie had found the painting. Lizzie raced to their car. With no time to waste, they had to find the second painting before the two men did. All right, Jack, we're at our deliberation.
Yippee.
So Nick isn't getting the crime-free honeymoon that Lizzie promised him.
Nope, full of crime.
Yeah, but with our help, they can close the book on this bird brain caper.
That we can indeed.
A real Audubon painting was hidden away, and someone is willing to menace to get it. Here are the suspects in the order that we met them.
Yes, who is Dennis?
The menace. We have Al McGuire, the actor who claimed to be an Australian tourist.
All right, Al.
We have Sam Broussard, professional thief and con artist.
Sam.
We have Officer Landry, police officer who saved Ed and Carol.
I didn't even consider Landry.
Tony Robichaud, curator of the Audubon Museum at Oakley Plantation.
Well, we're just putting everyone on the list.
We are, because there is also Dr. Nakamura, rightful owner of the Audubon watercolors.
Yeah. Well, now I'm just confused. How could it be Dr. Yamamoto? What was his name?
Nakamura.
Nakamura. How could it be Dr. Nakamura?
That's for you to decide. Here are the facts that Lizzie is working with. 5 Oaks owners Ed and Carol were not at home when they arrived. Only Dolly, a young Australian tourist, was at the plantation looking for a way in.
Indeed.
Nick and Lizzie find a watercolor painting of blue-throated hummingbirds, famously painted by Audubon, hidden in their armoire.
Oh, so famously painted.
Someone, probably a Cajun, was searching the room next to Nick and Lizzie's and tried to get in their room.
Ooh.
Lizzie heard a man cursing the dog in French under their bathroom window.
Maybe the Australian knows French too.
Maybe. He's an actor. He can do more than one. Way
Yeah.
better than me. She saw a figure in the garden, but she wasn't sure whether it was a ghost or a man.
It was a man.
Lizzie and Nick called the police, and Officer Landry responds.
Officer Laundry.
Realizing Carol and Ed are missing, Lizzie put Dolly on the case, who leads them right to the cabin where her owners were being held.
You know, Officer Laundry would probably be really good at finding stuff, you know. He's got
At
a lot
least
of
the-
experience with those missing socks.
I was just going to say, especially that one sock.
Yup.
Officer Landry warns Lizzie and Nick about an armed thief, Sam Broussard, who's on the loose in the area.
He has 3 arms.
At the cabin where Ed and Carol were held, the ghost approached Lizzie and Nick, claiming he wanted to do no harm. He slips away into the dense woods when Dolly chased him, and Landry returns with the truck.
And the ghost resembled the Australian man.
Lizzie identifies the ghostly man dressed as Audubon as an actor named Al McGuire, who is performing a one-man play about Audubon in St. Francisville. At the Audubon Museum, the curator, Tony Robichaud, does not verify the painting's authenticity but promises to look into it.
Weird.
Dr. Nakamura is notified that one of his stolen paintings has surfaced and verifies it belongs to his family.
Well, of course he would.
Outside the Audubon Museum, Nick and Lizzie are approached by the Cajun who demands the paintings.
Weirdo.
So who is the little bird that is menacing Carol and Ed, Lizzie and Nick?
Well, I guess I thought it was going to be Al and the Cajun. Who's the Cajun again?
Sam Broussard, I think.
I think it's Al and Sam.
I don't know that Landry ever said that Sam was Cajun. He just said he was a professional thief and con artist.
He is, but didn't he talk in French?
Somebody spoke in French, but could it
we
have
don't know
been
that
our
person
actor?
was Sam?
We know that there were 2 people outside.
Who's the actor?
Al McGuire.
But he's the Australian,
Yes.
right?
That's who Lizzie identified him as, the young Australian man.
So he might be pretending to be Cajun and dressing up as another guy?
I mean, anything's possible.
Okay, you sound like you don't want to send me down the wrong road. That's why you're saying these vague. Oh, it's a possibility.
Everything's a possibility.
Yeah.
Dr. Nakamura could
I
have.
don't think Nakamura did it.
Okay.
Because why?
Don't have an answer for that.
I don't think Robichaud did it, because why?
Because why?
Like, I guess maybe you just want the art piece, but like, I don't know. I think it's probably the two people who broke in. I don't think it's Landry. Like, apologies. I don't think it's Landry, because that's, again, just a weird move for them.
So
Plus,
you're going with the two, both of them,
I guess,
Al and
yeah.
Sam?
I'm trying to think if there's any evidence so far against anyone else, but nothing really points at other people, does it? There must be something that I just missed. Let's see. So we have Al, we have Sam, and then we have 3 more suspects, right? Or 4 more?
3 more. The cop, the curator, and the supposed rightful owner of the watercolors.
See, I'm thrown off because I didn't even slightly suspect those 3 people. But at the same time, if it's the original 2, then it's pretty cut and dry, isn't it? It's pretty obvious, and that's not right. Whoops. It's never the one who is clearly it, right? This one's too obvious for me. Maybe it's clearly the Al and Sam, but I refuse not to game it. Thus, I'm going to make a silly decision. I don't know. I think I have to go with Al and Sam because I still don't see any evidence to any of the other 3 people.
All right. Should we go into the big reveal?
I suppose. I'm about to be wrong, though. You sound like I'm wrong. You sound like, all right, he got another one wrong. Let's go show him why he's a dumbass, you know? All right, I'll shut up now.
A fine feather. A young man with long curly hair dressed in breeches and a 19th century coat approached Nick and Lizzie in the parking lot next to the Audubon Museum. Lizzie scrutinized him. Yes, the costumed man was the Australian they had encountered both the previous afternoon and earlier in the morning. Dr. Nakamura tapped a number on his phone and spoke to Tony Robichaud, asking him to summon Ranger Taylor. He opened his car door and climbed inside. Park Ranger will return in a few minutes, Lizzie said. I want to turn myself in, the young man said. This whole mess has gotten out of hand. I didn't mean to hurt anyone. Did you attack Carol and Ed, the owners of Five Oaks, and tie them up? Lizzie asked. No, it wasn't me, the Australian frowned. Who are you and who's your partner? Lizzie asked. I'm Al McGuire, from Bayou Country, south of Houma. The Cajun guy is Sam Broussard. The guy who swore in French at the dog last night at Five Oaks? Lizzie asked. McGuire chewed his lip. Last night, I was on the front side of the gallery. When the dog chased me into the woods, Broussard took off in his truck, leaving me behind. Why are you dressed up like Audubon? Lizzie asked. Why did Broussard search the guest rooms last night? McGuire remained silent for a minute. I met Broussard in a bar a few months ago. He's trying to unload an old family cabin near Bayou Colibri. Local legend has it Audubon did some paintings down that way. Broussard hoped that the local historical society would buy the cabin if he included something Audubon painted while he lived there. Go on, Lizzie said. McGuire licked his lips. Broussard stole 2 Audubon paintings, small ones, nothing like those big folio prints in the museum. Afterwards, he worried somebody would recognize them as stolen. Lizzie crossed her arms over her chest. And how do you fit into this? I worked on an oil rig in Australia and did some traveling around the country, McGuire said. Audubon's grandson and his descendants lived there and owned some of the Audubon paintings. I told Broussard and he planned the rest. I can't wait, Lizzie said, tapping her foot. Broussard drove here to Oakley where Audubon lived and painted. McGuire continued his story. Broussard hid 2 stolen paintings in bedroom furniture, but he didn't tell me which bedroom or type of furniture. I was supposed to play an Audubon relative from Australia who knew a big family secret, where the paintings were hidden. Our backup plan was for me to dress up like Audubon and pretend to be his ghost, haunting Oakley while we retrieve the paintings. Ranger Taylor approached driving a 4x4. Hurry up and finish your story, Lizzie said. When we got to Oakley, the bedroom furniture was gone, McGuire said. Park ranger told us a wardrobe and some smaller pieces had been moved to Five Oaks to make room for new furniture donations to Oakley. Broussard got Ed and Carol out of the way, stole their keys, and then searched the guest rooms last night, Lizzie said. Did he find what he was looking for? McGuire shook his head. Broussard's angry. All that old stuff looks the same. He didn't remember which piece of furniture he used to hide the paintings. He's desperate, and he's got a gun. Do you have the Five Oaks keys? Lizzie asked. No, Broussard does. McGuire turned to face Ranger Taylor. I'll tell you everything. The ranger guided McGuire into the 4x4 and drove away. Dr. Nakamura followed Lizzie and Nick to Five Oaks. While they waited for Carol and Ned to meet them, Lizzie and Nick took Dr. Nakamura into the garden and showed him the blue-throated hummingbirds flitting through the brilliant indigo sage flowers. Lizzie crushed the leaf of a similar plant with red flowers and sniffed. Pineapple sage, like the fruit. The garden buzzed with different varieties of hummingbirds, feeding from flowers and dive-bombing each other. Mockingbirds warbled in a continuous medley. Dr. Nakamura, do you have any other information about your paintings? Lizzie asked. Well, they probably date to the 1830s, Dr. Nakamura said. Audubon returned from England and traveled and painted in Florida and Louisiana. Both the blue-throat and black-chin hummingbirds are native to Louisiana. A hummer darted past his face. They're nice paintings, but they're not as valuable as the original hand-tinted folio prints. My family values them as a celebration of their Louisiana heritage. He faced Lizzie. They're my paintings. I brought the insurance appraisal detailing their provenance with me. Lizzie cleared her clothes from the wardrobe, and Carol and Ed examined every inch of it, inside and out. The work crew shifted a huge piece of furniture away from the wall, and they inspected the back. Nothing, Carol declared. No hidden compartments, nothing in the drawer opening or underneath. Lizzie inwardly groaned and took a last look around the room. A washstand draped in a crocheted cloth and topped with an antique oil lamp stood in the dark corner. Was the wardrobe the only piece brought from Oakley? Carol's expression brightened. The washstand, of course. It needs repair, so we covered it and put it in the corner until we had time to deal with it. The crew eased the washstand out and placed it in a stream of sunshine near the screen door. Lizzie grabbed a flashlight and lay on the floor, checking the underside. She ran her hand behind the decorative trim and felt a heavy piece of paper. This has to be it. She stood up and waited for the crew to lift and tilt the washstand backwards, enabling her to coax free a flat, wrapped package. The crew returned the washstand to the corner, and Lizzie handed the package to Dr. Nakamura. Let's wipe the dust off and open it at the porch table. When she stepped out on the gallery, Lizzie sensed someone behind her. Sam Broussard pointed a gun at Dr. Nakamura. Give me the painting. It doesn't belong to you. C'est moi. It's mine. It certainly does not belong to you, Lizzie said. Broussard turned the gun on her. Tais-toi. None of your business. Hand it over. Arrête, stop. Put your weapon down. Hands in the air where I can see them. Officer Landry stood in the doorway of the adjacent guest room, service weapon trained on Broussard. Another officer appeared at the end of the gallery. It's him, Carol said, clutching Ed's arm. Ed agreed. That's the guy who tied us up. Sacre bleu. Damn it. Broussard put his gun on the gallery floor and knelt, hands on his head. Dr. Nakamura waited until the officers handcuffed Broussard and drove away before he unwrapped the painting. Bright sunlight revealed 3 black-chin hummingbirds feeding on orange trumpet vine flowers. Turning the painting over, he checked the kanji in the corner. It's mine. I'll pick up the other painting at the museum and be on my way. He left the gallery and headed for the parking lot. Nice of him to thank us for recovering his paintings, Lizzie said. Nick hugged Lizzie. You solved the mystery of the Audubon's ghost. Can we be crime-free for the rest of our honeymoon? She smiled. I'll try, but I can't promise. The end. So you were right.
I was right. I win.
It was just a little bit of a who was a boss, and sound like Al definitely got more than he was bargaining for.
Yeah.
But he had to know it was illegal, so like can't feel too bad for him.
Yeah, and also I don't know. He said it got away from him. I don't know what got away from him.
I don't think
it just didn't work last night. Maybe that made him panic.
Well, I think he wasn't expecting Sam to like kidnap people and.
But still, he didn't leave at that point. He left way after.
He did. That's why I said I don't feel bad for him at all.
Yeah, I don't either. So he's not really Australian.
He's not really. Well, I guess he's really. They're both really from Louisiana.
I've never been more betrayed in my life.
At least that explains why I couldn't do an Australian accent, because he couldn't either.
Well, he yeah. But he was around Australian people. He did like the Australian oil tankard.
He was. Oil rig.
Oil rig.
Yeah.
Oil rig.
So I'm going to tell you a little bit about menacing as a crime.
Go for it.
So in general, menacing is where a person uses a threat or an action to cause another person to be in fear of serious bodily damage or death. It can range from a misdemeanor to a felony, depending on the severity. Definitions do somewhat vary by state. So there aren't famous cases of menacing because alone it's not considered a serious crime.
Excuse me, Scooby-Doo has many cases of menacing.
Scooby-Doo
millions of cases of menacing.
I know. Every time that poor guy showed up anywhere, they got menaced. So menacing does often end up being a component of another crime or charge, such as stalking or harassment. So I do have a few cases for you to gnaw on. In 2008, Christopher Saz pleaded guilty to federal civil rights charges for threatening employees of the National Council of La Raza and the Council on American Islamic Relations. He sent emails threatening to bomb offices and kill employees, which met the legal definition of menacing. I just did a quick Google search on that, so I don't have a specific website to send you to. Let me introduce our friend, Margaret S. Hamilton. So Margaret is the author of 40 short stories, many of them set in the fictional small town of Jericho, Ohio. She has also published stories set in the, I'm going to butcher this one, Dordogne region of southwest France, in Cape Cod, New Orleans, and in 1950s Cincinnati. Margaret's debut traditional mystery, What the Artist Left Behind, is on submission, so agents, publishers, pick it up, read it, put it under contract so the rest of us can read it. It was a 2019 Daphne Mainstream Mystery finalist. She is writing the next 2 books in her Jericho Mystery series about amateur sleuth Lizzie Christopher and her husband, Nick Cameron. Margaret is a member of Sisters in Crime and Mystery Writers of America and blogs monthly on Writers Who Kill. She lives in suburban Cincinnati with her husband and her 2 standard poodles, Jazz and Louie. She is an avid traveler, gardener, and photographer. And check out her website and her social media. So that wraps up this episode of Mysteries to Die For. Support our show by subscribing, telling a mystery lover about us, and giving us a 5-star review. And check out our website, m2d4podcast.com, for links to this season's authors. The anthology for this half of the season will release in early November, so check it out, put it on your to-be-read list, your Christmas list, your Hanukkah list, every other list you have. Really, it's that good. Put it on every list. Mysteries to Die For is hosted by TG Wolff and Jack Wolff. Audubon's Ghost was written by Margaret S. Hamilton. Music and production are by Jack Wolff. Episode art is by TG Wolff. Join us next week for a toe tag, which is the first chapter of a fresh release in the mystery, crime, or thriller genre, and then come back in 2 weeks for our next original story, where home burglary is the featured murderless crime. It's Karen and the Cul-de-sac Caper by Kira Jacobs. All right, Jack, take us out.